Hey y'all, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Here I want to take a moment and talk a little bit about happiness, funness, joyness, whatever. Uh, you know, whenever people, in most cases, sees someone that is just overjoyed, just beyond happy, it seems to be happy for no reason, just full of light and fun and all great things and good things. They walk around like this most of the time. And people that don't understand it, what they do is they look at them sometimes as though they're faking, they're pretending. And then at other times, they're like, I don't know what they're so happy about. I don't know why he or she or it is so happy. They're pretending things are not happening in the world. Or, like I said before, if they're too happy, a lot of them think that they need to be put away somewhere. Something is mentally off with them because they can't see what's happening around the world, or they're not feeling as you do, or whatever you're projecting is not that. Whatever your vibe is, it is not that. And you don't understand it. But let me tell you something. Something within you does. Something within you attracted that or called forth that happy-go-lucky person to either cross your path or to be side or in your situation or nearby. Some people just feel agitated by people that are just too damn happy. They just feel agitated. They want to move away from them or get them away from them. Let me tell you, I talk about our nature. Our true nature is that inner joy, that inner peace, that sound mind, that joyfulness, that happiness, that funness, if you will. That is actually our natural state. Everything that comes through you from that sacred space is that happy-go-lucky kind of thing. It's that inner peace, if you will. So it's that inner peace that comes out of you. With that said, just hear me out. Because here I go again on this other stuff. It's just so that you can peek the game. See how they're playing this. We know it's up. I already told you the game is over. Or at least this particular game. It's just a matter of how many more moves you're going to make to the finish line of this particular time. What is happening, has been happening, if you really think about it. We have our phones now, we have laptops, phones, but there was a time when it was just a television, and the newspapers. So I know that at some point you've wondered, why do they put so much what we've labeled as negativity in the news? Why is it, they'll say, well, people don't want to hear good news. People they thrive on the not so good news. They tune into the not so good news. When you put on good news, people don't follow it. Well, that's a story that we've been told so many times that we begin to act it out. But when you turn on, at that time, when you turned on the television and picked up the newspaper, most of all that you saw there were things that were low vibrational. It actually affected you without you realizing how affected you were by the information that you were consuming. And so, like I spoke before in my other video, what they've managed to do is move the news, the major news people up to the top of the various social media platforms so that they can be, they're pushing it. So they have to make sure it's the first thing you see. You turn on your email, they're pushing their stuff. You turn on the phone, you go into your phone, they got their headlines at the top of the scroll, at the top. You have to go all the way down or punch in or look up what it is that you want to see to get past of all of the agendas and all of the news that they're pushing. Because there's a number of reasons, but let me just speak of this. You will tap into your natural state of happiness if you're not bombarded with that otherness stuff. Your body, your mind, your body, everything will do what it is here naturally, just like how your body takes care of itself naturally. It builds up its immune system naturally. Your body will return to its natural state if it's not consuming and absorbing low vibrational things. So, like I tell you, I won't say the powers to be because that's done. It's a new age. So I will not use those terms, but I use it in order to make it make sense. So let me say it like this. That's why you have, and some families, I knew when I was growing up, my mother didn't do it, but I knew some families that they turn on news first thing in the morning, and they turn it up loud. So as you're getting up, you're waking up to the news. You may not hear the news throughout the day because you were out playing or out at school, you were doing different things, but school was a whole nother story because they were working on indoctrinating you with other stuff anyway. But in the evening, you had the 10 o'clock news, the 9 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, the 11 o'clock news, even the midnight news. People that used to flip channels just trying to catch the next body of news, the next headlines, Or you have families, they wake up with the newspaper on their table. First thing in the morning, having a cup of coffee or tea or a glass of juice, they're flipping and reading the newspaper. People do that nowadays with their phones. They pick up their phones first thing in the morning. As soon as they open their eyes, they're scrolling and they're absorbing all of that stuff. All of that stuff is going in somewhere. They're setting the course and the pace and the what type of nuances are going to take place that day as a result of what you are taking in along with your breakfast, your morning or afternoon meal, or your brunch, or your dinner, supper, whatever, right? This keeps you from reacquainting yourself to your inner joy, your inner peace. Sometimes when we get outside and we're moving about, all of a sudden that lift, that joyfulness comes up. That's if we're not too bogged down with inner scripts and inner challenges. We can actually feel the vibrational lift as soon as we're out in nature. We feel better. Get out and do a little workout or a run or a walk, you feel better. If you're not allowing your mind to ruminate on on some stuff that you observed earlier, or that's hanging around in your mind that keeps showing up, or something someone said to you that day, you know. But you have people, back on this, you have people who are offended by happy people. If you're not one of the happy ones yourself, I don't know if you're the one that's offended by people that are too joyful. Check yourself. Or if you are one of the joyful filled people. You know, you're walking around and saying, this is wonderful. We're going to have an amazing day. I look forward to this. I'm sure this is going to be just delicious. I'm looking forward to such a, oh, my friend, she's absolutely so beautiful. He's absolutely wonderful. I know we're going to have a great day. We're going to do some great things today. Oh, it's such a beautiful day. I love this place. Wow, did you see this? Did you see that? It's so nice. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so joyful. I'm having so much fun. And you get someone like that around you. And you're not feeling any of it. You got things on your mind. You have things to do. You don't have time for that. In fact, it's just bothering you. Well, let me tell you something. Happy people, when you're in the presence, if you're not that yourself, most of the time, because it's not always. We have our moments. People have their moments. But they know how to tap right back into that place of inner peace and sound mind. But when you're around someone that just sees the beauty in most things, most of the time, it causes stir within the one who does not. Now it works on behalf, because there's never any coincidence. So it works for both. The one that's walking around in a genuine, heartfelt, joy-filled place. I'm not talking about those pretending. You get those that pretend and then eventually end up being what they're pretending to be. But there are some that are pretending for the sake of pretending, but they're actually miserable. That all radiates through. That comes through. The vibe, you cannot fake energy. You cannot make energy something it is not. So if that's what's happening in your heart, it is projected and it is reflected, no matter how much you try to put a fake smile on your face and stand up erect and speak the words, but the words do not have a hint of joy in it. It's just words. So I'm not talking about those type of people. I'm talking about people who are coming from a genuine heart space of well-being and true love and happiness. Right? And appreciation, true appreciation and gratitude. When those kind of people are around someone that cannot see any of that, most of the time, meaning they say, oh, they're criticizing everything, judging everything in a certain, we call it negative way, because people label things as negative and positive. So let's, for the sake of this video, say they label everything as negative. They see everything from a negative point of view. What they don't realize is that is programming. That is programming. That's like watching that news that speaks about those type of, that's like they're just projecting and reflecting what they heard on the 9, 10, 11 o'clock midnight news. First thing in the morning news. All that doubt and all that fear and negativity and low vibrational stories and low vibrational people, or people that are doing all kinds of crimes and stuff like that. You know, you are basically in that vibratory band, that frequency. And this is what you're spewing when you're around and emitting when you're around others. You're emitting what you are consuming. Chances are the one that is walking around all happy and skipping around you, they're not consuming it in that way, if at all. So what is coming out of them is different from what's coming out of you. But their thing is that whatever's happening with them, they have an opportunity to truly check themselves when they're around someone that doesn't feel so good about themselves. When they're around someone that has a true low vibrational, or someone that is in a true low vibrational state. I would say sleepwalking, basically. They're not in tune with the higher. So they're out of tune with that. So the one that is in tune, they're basically put to the test. How true is your love? How unconditional is your love? You know, who are you really? Is there anything hidden within the crevices of your mind and your body that needs to come up to the surface so that you can fix it or rid yourself of it? You know? Is there something within you that negativity or low vibe stuff that's coming out of that person, is any of that pulling something up from you, out of you, in order for you to come to terms with it, which will wipe the smile off your mouth, wipe the smile off your face and the pep out of your step and make you sit down for a moment. Check yourself. Sometimes have you crying and you're trying to figure out what's happening, or like I said, like attracts like. So that energy is pulling like energy into your life. And then once you go low with that vibe, you're now attracting more of that stuff. More people that vibe around that low vibrational state. Okay? That's for a self-check for the happy-go-lucky person, all right? But then you have those that are not, that walk in misery, live in misery, complain about misery. Everything is about just not feeling good, right? That person now around the happy person is bringing more of that stuff up to the surface, which gives them an opportunity to deal with themselves. Why am I so angry that this person's so happy? Why do I get frustrated because they're having such a great day? Why am I envious or jealous of this person because they have such a beautiful relationship and they have such loving people around them, and they love spreading love and joy and laughter with people? You know, why am I bothered that they're always having such an amazing time? What's in me that's so far removed from my natural being of inner peace, joy, happiness, love? What in me is so bothered by the joy in this person? So this is stuff that has to come up. And I just want to say for the record, I don't usually use those words in that way. Oh, what we label as negative and stuff. Because I happen to love being on the high vibe end of the spectrum. It doesn't mean that I don't slide to the other side from time to time. But when I recognize I'm wallowing in anything that doesn't feel so good, I work my way back up to where I'd love to be. That helps me to feel good. Well, and not just that, it calls forth other things. It manifests other things. And the last thing I want to entertain is some vibrational concoction going on in me, pulling all kinds and natures of people into my life that I really don't particularly want to deal with. But if they come, I know what I'm dealing with. because I do know a little bit about how this game works. So if I'm disturbed by anything, that means I need to check myself. And the same for you. If you're disturbed by anyone's well-being, by anyone's walk of joy and laughter and fun, you need to self-check yourself. And if anyone that is walking in that state of happiness and well-being and bothered by someone that's just agitated all the time, that person needs to check themselves as well. Because that means that there is something hidden within you that is not cleared yet. And it's also letting you know there's something in you that is calling that particular or that type of people, those kinds of people, into your life in order for you to deal with them. Or not deal with them, or deal with yourself. Let's say it that way. So in all cases, one's trueness is challenged. It's just challenged. And depending on where we are vibrationally, will make the difference in how we, the choices we make in dealing with these various things that rise up within us. And also, know that, remember I told you about projecting in my other video. I talked about how we project the energy that's within, and then the energy without reflects our projection, creating a loop, a spiral. And sometimes in order to break that spiral or that loop or that ascending down motion or just going around in circle motion, you have to break it. And breaking it means turning your head. It doesn't mean that you're putting your head in the sand, as I always say. You're not trying to pretend things are not happening. But in a way you are. You are. You're turning your head so that you can commune with yourself, with your true self, with the self that is always and forever in a peaceful, loving state. That is the norm. That is natural, like nature. It's natural. Anything else isn't natural. So if you're consuming anything that makes you feel miserable all the time, know that is not natural. It's not normal. When you see someone happy, genuinely, that is coming from the heart, that is flowing through them, that's normal. Or what one would call the label normal I'm using. But that's natural. That's nature. The other is not. It's an aspect of the all, an archetype within the all. However, our natural state is beingness, not pulled this way or that way, not being thinking negative or positive. We're just being. There's not that polarity thing. Everything has poles. So they say everything has poles. Love and hate, whatever, or whatever. I don't want to go into all of that. But anyway. But infiniteness is, where's the pole? Where does it end and where does it begin? There is no ending and beginning. So you're just in that place. Okay? So I know I can go on and on. Maybe I always say I'll do another video, which I do. But I just want to let you know, when you see someone so happy walking around you, they just come in there happy all the time. Don't sit back and say, well, what's wrong with you? Or why are you so happy? I'm glad you're happy. Are you acting like things are not going on? Don't go there. Check yourself. Check yourself, because that is a natural state. That is a well-being state. That's a person with a well mind. And actually, those are the kind of people they usually try to lock up because they're too damn happy. But anyway, hey, much love. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. please hit the thumbs up, share. Well, anyway, thank you so much. Choice here. Namaste.